better than my computer. Trying to see how to work the chat. Let's see. Who's here? Say hello. Sorry, I switched to my phone to see if maybe this would be a better connection and we would have less issues. Let's hope. I'm trying to figure out how to see the chat. Otherwise we are, ooh, that's not what we want. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, there, I can see you. Okay, great. I can see your chat. I don't know that I can write anything, but hi, Sava. Okay, so I was here on time, and then the world didn't want me to be on time, I guess. If you're not subscribed to my email, you should subscribe to my email. I send it out on Sundays, and I just remind you that I'm going live, and it has all the links. And then I do a little, like at the beginning of it, I do a little, like either oracle card reading or tarot card reading. And I think I did last week, I did like a quick card pull for everybody at the end of the session. So I think I'll do that this week. I've got the inner child deck again. And then this is like the women of myth. Guidance and insight from the divine and diverse feminine. And since they say the divine feminine is rising, although I don't think it's so much about female as it is about opening up your upper chakras. Those are your more spiritual chakras, right? That's just me. Okay, so who's here? Gabrielle, if you want to ask your question, you can. You know what's interesting? I don't know if I've talked about this, but remember I said a couple of weeks ago I thought that like somehow the Democratic Party would split? Hi, Fern. And then like literally the next week, David Hogg came out, and if you're not familiar with him, he was he went through a school pew-pewing and then got really active in politics, and just a message that comes through. Sure. Hi, Patkal Naik. And now the DNC is like punishing him for saying he wants to like basically primary crappy Democrats, which, hey, I'm all about that. Like if you're not representing your constituents, what are you doing there? You know, you don't need to be in Washington. You don't need to be getting paid. Mike Johnson tried to say that like they should still be able to do basically insider trading, which is like, you know, they want to still be able to make their own personal trades, because there's been bills proposed to not allow people within Congress to make trades because they have insider information. He's like, oh, well, we haven't had a pay raise since, I don't know, whatever, 2019. They're, you know, it's the cost of living. And I'm like, you're proving the point of what Americans are all mad about right now. So thank you for the compliment. Okay, so let's do a general reading for you, kind of see what comes through, Gabrielle. Hi, Thanos. Sup? We just went and saw, we just got back from, oh, I forget the name of the new Avengers movie that's out. Where am I from? Here and there and everywhere. All right, let me go ahead and do this reading. So this is interesting because I just said, I asked Gabrielle, I asked my guides, like, what do you need to hear right now? And I almost felt like I was slipping into your energy of like feeling out of body. It's like the best feeling I can give you is like, I don't feel very connected to myself. I feel like I'm having this, like, I got this feeling actually when I got the, whenever I get the COVID vaccines, I have really weird reactions to them. And it's like I'm floating around, like I feel very out of body, and I feel like you're having that experience right now of not really being totally connected. Are you just at a museum? Because I feel like I'm standing right in front of an exhibit of, it looks to me almost like native or indigenous tools, because it's like a case with, it's got glass, and it's got like tools hung perfectly. I don't know why they're showing me that. So some of this feeling of feeling out of body is almost like, I feel like your third eye is really opening up a lot right now. And that's why you're sort of having these experiences of like not being fully connected in. They're saying it might even seem overwhelming at times. Like giving you almost an anxious anxiety feeling. I do feel like you're eating something that's really bothering your stomach, because I'm getting that same pain that I get when I eat like high histamine foods or foods that are not, like I have food intolerances for, like even like eggs are high in histamine. And it's just like a discomfort, but over the next 6 weeks, you're going to be really going through connecting in a lot more with your intuition and having a lot more experiences with your third eye. I do feel like when you were younger, because I feel like my crown chakra is open, but like back here, so that's always represents like my past for me. You were very connected to that and trusting your own intuition. I do think other people made you second guess yourself, particularly your mother. Even over the next 6 weeks, I feel like you're going to end up developing a really deep connection to the land and to the roots of the energy of the area you're in. You're going to have some big spiritual awakenings over the next 6 weeks, releases, because I feel so tight in my jaw right now, but they're saying that's going to release, where you're going to really start speaking your truth, and owning your power and standing in your power. They said no longer the quiet little mouse. And it doesn't mean I feel like you're going to create chaos within your life, but you're sort of moving away from the people pleaser tendencies and worrying about if you're taking up space is upsetting somebody else. They're saying it's right on time. So this is when this is supposed to happen for you. And they said nobody's going to get left behind. So like when you make these decisions and when you start setting more boundaries and things, you don't have to worry that, or when you start putting yourself, and I shouldn't say and, or I should say, and when you start putting yourself, like allowing yourself to take up space rather than just like taking the crumbs that are left over, it doesn't mean that you push people away. You said, but interesting, you haven't, but we are going away next week. So this might be a thing that you're gonna see. So I'm gonna describe what I saw when I saw this like museum-y thing. I can't tell if it's pegboard or just the way the lightning is hitting it, but it's a white background. It's a glass case, and I keep seeing like green, like a grass green color. So I don't know, and it's weird because I'm like, I saw it like a little bit on the case, so but I don't know if it's like the whole case or the wall. There's a grass green that you're going to notice, this coloring, a grass green color, but it's not behind the tools, and they look like, you know, like I couldn't really see a lot of details of them, so it was like far away, and they're more like natural wood color and things like that. But it was the feeling that I was looking at indigenous tools. It doesn't feel like it's a, I don't know that it's like a, it's not like the Museum of Natural History where it's really big, but it's a museum. You're definitely feeling overwhelmed. I feel super, super excited last weekend, and I had such a pep in my step, and it's almost like I crashed. You hope so. Ever since the tiff I had with my mom, I was questioning if I really wanted to stay in Utah, but I truly love it here. I just feel a bit almost talked down to. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Hi, Kiki. So, hi, Allie. So maybe that's where you're going to be seeing this, and maybe that's also the, like, sometimes they'll give me something random like that, so when it happens you're like, oh, maybe that other stuff makes sense now, especially when I'm giving you, because I like to give a lot of evidence and be really specific and really highly detailed. And so when I'm getting stuff that you can't sort of validate in the moment, it kind of annoys me. So I sort of, it's like a set intention with them of like, if you're going to do that, then also give them something that can validate this other stuff. You know, I think a lot of times we fear, especially when we're people pleasery and we are learning to stand in our own power and we're shifting things, we fear that then, how does that change our lives? Because you'll hear people, practitioners, say things like, all these people are going to fall away when you start doing these things. Some people do, or you worry about how it's going to change your closer relationships. I don't feel any issues with your husband, so I want to like be really clear on that. And things may change a little bit with your mom. Ruffles, feathers may be ruffled, not ruffles, maybe feathered. Feathers may be ruffled. When I said ruffles, I realized I'm not talking about potato chips. Okay, sorry, that came out wrong. But okay, so then, okay, so they're like, she might get her nose out of joint a little bit, but, you know, it's sort of one of those things where I'm not saying your mom's autistic, but I'm using this as an example. My oldest daughter is autistic and she really likes routines. And so if I change my routine at all, it takes her about a month to kind of like settle into that's the new thing. So like when COVID hit, I was doing workouts online with one of the local dads who now owns a physical, you know, space for a gym. And she, like, it took her a month for me to be, even though that schedule, I woke up early before anybody was in school, like it wasn't really affecting her, but she was like kind of flustered by it. And then when I stopped doing it, because I eventually did stop because I had an injury in my shoulder and I got COVID at a point, and so then I kind of just fell off, and then he was into whatever. Long story short, she got upset that I stopped like, it just feels like it's going to take your mom a little bit to get used to these boundaries, then like she'll be fine. I asked, why is she so critical and or condescending? And it feels like her love language is, sorry, not laughing at you. It's the way they tell me things, like they go being a know-it-all. Like, is just walking you, you know, not wanting somebody to make a mistake or not wanting, that kind of stuff. It's not a great love language. And I'm not saying like you should tolerate it because that's how she loves you. Like, that's like not what I'm saying either. But I think sometimes when we can understand where somebody's coming from and recognize that like it's not really about us, it takes that immediate need to feel like upset from it and look at it more like, okay, like that it's not really a criticism of who you are as a person. So it's not that like, and I do feel like you'll feel much more settled and happy, especially once you're in your own place. So it's just that I also feel like I got to tell you that a lot of the physical stuff that you're going through will get better once you're out from underneath that and you're on your own and you have your own space, and your the inflammatory stuff will start to like relax a little bit. Figure out how I'm going to do the see who paid kind of thing since I'm on my phone, and we will go until I can't go anymore. Let me see if this is the right kind of charger. I don't think that it is, but one can daydream about that. Nope, it's not. Oh shit, I didn't plan on using my phone. So you're very welcome. Saw another house and now torn between two again. Remember that, okay, so this is the other thing I want to remind, I guess maybe because when I was looking at houses, I moved so much growing up. No, not a military person, but just like when I was born in San Antonio. When I was 3, we moved to Houston, and then when I was my parents got divorced when I was in 1st grade, and we had our house got foreclosed on, and we moved in 3rd grade. So I went to school in one school, and then I moved in with my dad, and after 7th grade, and then we moved right after 8th grade. We moved up to Wisconsin, and like I moved a lot. And I think I've never lived longer in any place than like this house that I'm in currently. But I'm not attached to like homes and like things like that. Like I don't have that attachment to stuff. I guess I figure you can make any house a home. So and no house is going to be perfect as you're looking through them and whatever. So just reminding you of that, to like that you're no matter where you move, there's gonna be some little thing, and it won't be perfect. So to take the pressure off yourself a little. I actually got told that in a reading once. I thought it was funny. She was like, "You're like a turtle. Like you take your home with you." I was like, "Yeah, kind of. You can." I'm truly like. I mean, maybe it is like growing up like in apartments and rentals and things like that. I'm just not attached to like it's your house can be a home no matter what it is. I'm just looking to see if anybody else purchased a reading. I don't usually do these on my phone, so I don't know what. Oh, see, that's that green screen thing. Sorry, I'll turn that off because I think it looks weird. I'm like, no. I don't know what the rest of these things are. I guess there's something with a mic. Can you guys hear me okay? You just donated, Allie? Okay, Fern. Let me check. me see if I can do it on my phone. Give me a second. Do that. Wait, hang on. If I click off of that to check the PayPal, can you still see me when I did that? Or does it pause the thing? Let me see if I can open up my computer to do PayPal on my computer. Hang on. Sorry if anybody gets motion sick. This is really close. Oh, okay, here, I can do it on my computer. All right, so we're good, we're good. All right, Sava, I have you. Allie, Tiffany, I have you. I don't know what your screen name is here. And Fern, I have you. Okay, great. So let me write that down. I can't put it in here. I can't figure out how to do the chat on this thing, and such is life. Put it on here. I've got Fern. Fern, you're up first if you want to ask. And then Tiffany. And then Allie. And then Saba. Just a general reading for Fern. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay. This is very interesting. I'm getting a lot of interesting visual stuff today. So I saw a large elephant. I think it's Indian, not African. Let me see what the difference is. Sorry, thank you for your patience. I think it's an Indian elephant. I don't know if that matters at all, but whatever. And I saw it with like flowers around it, and it reminded me of like this symbolically, and I can look up symbolically like the I don't think I brought my animal, which I didn't animals, but it reminded me of Ganesh, and Ganesh is about opportunities, making opportunities, making way for opportunities. Give me a second. Let me look up what the other symbolism that might fit for me. Wisdom and strength, endurance and guidance. That could fit too for what I saw next. So the thing that I saw next was I saw a big wall of water, like almost like a tsunami. And for me, anytime I see, and I don't think that you're going to be involved in a tsunami or that your past life was a tsunami, like whatever. But for me, when I see water symbolically, anything like that, waves, it's emotional changes. So I feel like there's going to be opportunities coming in for you that are going to be opportunities for really big changes, but that are going to bring up a whole lot of emotional responses, feelings, which are emotional. And it might feel like you're going to be a little consumed by that. Because I saw the wave coming at me and like literally kind of consume me and pull me under. They're giving me a month timing. So I don't know if that's within the next month or in a month. They're saying these opportunities that are coming in, and it feels like work school kind of thing, like big changes that way coming in. It feels like having to close one door, having to say goodbye, and that it's like it is, even though you know it's a really great opportunity, it is kind of gut wrenching, and it is a goodbye. I did get your payment, Tiffany. Yes. You're on, I think you're, hang on, I have the list written down. Give me a second. You're next after Firm. Does any of this resonate when I say this to you? Hi, Lexi. Nice to see you. I can't, I don't know words today. You're starting to go back full-time starting tomorrow. Okay. So over the next month, there's going to be opportunities coming in around this. My eyes got really big when I said that. And yeah, and so it might feel a little overwhelming. Like as this is happening for you, it might feel a bit overwhelming. And you might kind of get lost in the current a little bit, but you'll find your way up. You'll bob to the top. Don't worry. This is the weird analogy that they just gave me, so I'm going to explain why I know this but it doesn't fit the water thing. But so in high school, my senior year, I took an outdoor ed class for one of my electives, and one of the things we learned to do was like camping in bear country, and like how do you survive if you get caught up in an avalanche, which is weird because I've never been to a mountain. So but so what you're supposed to do is spit, and then the spit will go, because of gravity, will go towards and so you crawl, that you dig yourself out the other direction. And they're sort of saying you're gonna get caught up in it. It's just a weird thing to say, so spit and go the opposite way. But basically trust your intuition as you're moving through it. You will get yourself out of it. I don't feel oh my God, I'm gonna need 85 billion support people and stuff. It's you're going to have the wisdom and knowledge. There it is. You're going to have the wisdom and knowledge, and that's where the elephant thing comes in, to pull yourself through this experience. They're kind of talking a little bit about, I don't know if you have sensory issues, but it's the feeling of having sensory issues and finding ways to accommodate yourself, maybe that you haven't done in the past. And you'll find your way of doing things that work for you. Is that helpful? Can I leave you with that? I mean, I would guess if you said no, I'd be okay, let me start over. You're very welcome. It's late there. I'd be I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm already yawning. Okay, Tiffany, what's your question? Do you know what? You came across my, on my Facebook of people, do you know this person? And I was oh, I haven't seen her in a while, literally this week. And I'm never on Facebook, ever. I need to, y'all, I need to actually do content creation and put myself out there and be a little better about running this like a business. Oh, that's okay. It's all good. If anybody likes those Avenger movies and such, what is it called? There's some, Thunderbolts is the one we went and saw. It's really good. I really like Now I can't think of their names. It was good. Okay. What's your question? Well, I can do a poll on here. There's 5 of you. Oh, Fern was behind on the live. Okay, wait. Tiffany, are you here? If you want to ask your question, ask your question. If not, Allie or Sava, you guys can, either of you can go. Ladies. Oh, there you are. Yes, Tiffany, I'm on your question. You can go. I can't believe that it's already almost like we're at Memorial Day weekend next weekend. That's crazy to me. The year has flown by. Regine, oh, I got your email last weekend. Thank you for the well wishes. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm waiting on Tiffany's. Since Allie asked hers, can I just ask, and while I'm waiting for Tiffany, go ahead and write your question. But Allie, I feel like yes, you will. I actually am seeing more of a contemporary, like modern home. Maybe built in the 40s or 50s. Not, I don't know if it's like if it's more ranch or maybe not a full split level. That's what I see. I don't feel like a huge lot. So like maybe at most 3/4 of an acre. I would put it at like 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. A modern ranch is kind of what I keep getting in my head. Hearing, seeing. There's something about like a sunken room or something being like there's like 3 or 4 steps down. And they said full basement. So it's not like a true split level, like where you walk in and there's like the upstairs and then the downstairs, like the 7 stairs up and the 7 stairs down. It's not like that kind of a split level. My mom's best friend from high school lived in this really cool split level house in San Antonio that her husband had designed. He was an architect. And I was so cool. It was so cool. And then whoever bought it, like, I don't know. I thought they took the character out of it. Because it had like a whole bunch of saltillo tile and it had these really cool fans in it. And the bathroom was like weird. It was like the master bathroom was like you walk through like the closet area and you go in the master bathroom. There's like a bidet, and we as like little girls we were like so there's like a bidet, and there was like a stand-up shower, and then there was like stairs up to the bathtub, which is like a big jacuzzi tub. Oh, it's like I was born in 78, so like this is like the early 80s, but it was a really cool house. I had big pecan trees in the back. You live in a small. Bungalows are adorable. I'm like, if we could do smaller, we would. We have like a 3,000 square foot home. We're not huge. Some say 3,000. I've seen like I know this is dumb where you're like, I can't remember if it's 3,000 or 3,300, something like that. It's not huge, but like bigger means more house cleaning. It's like, when I am super rich and I have a staff, I'll get a bigger house. But right now, I am all of that. So, okay. Oh, Oh, Tiffany, I'm so sorry. Is it the same reason? I'm so sorry. Hi, Julia. Ugh. Okay. Do they think that it's do they know for sure that it's coming from your genetics? Because I know this is weird, but I just keep feeling like you might need to do donor egg if they're for sure it's yours. I'm donor egg and sperm. There's something about with the sperm though that's gonna I don't understand that. Um, has has his count gone down or something changed because of stress? You don't know that. Okay. I mean, I guess they'll know when they're. So I, it's. Let me find the words. I feel like it will be successful, but I feel like there's something else about maybe even there may be discussion of also having a surrogate, uh, or either that or they're showing me like it's like a close family friend or either a close family friend or a family member or something. Like I feel like it's very tight, like where I feel like if I'm not an actual family member, I'm a very close friend that feels like family, offers to be a surrogate. Like there's something there about surrogacy where they're pulling that in, and so I don't know if that's to validate for you, but I feel like they really need to, like, even with a donor egg, needing to really like up your folate or folinic acid. You're fine. It's okay to always send love to somebody who's, who needs when we need support. It's okay to send that whenever. You're not interrupting. Um, there's something around that feeling of like making sure all of that stuff comes up. Did a conversation come up where you were surrogacy? Somebody offered to be a surrogate? Or did they talk about surrogacy? Because there's something about that. I don't know that that's the route you have to go. I'm just trying to figure out why that's coming up for me. But I'm also getting a really needing to make sure that your folate is up and your progesterone. Excuse my burp. I hate when readers go. They go. That's a burp of a validation burp or something like that. I'm always like, no, you just burped, weirdo. So excuse me. I feel like, sorry. I feel like you tend to be low progesterone. You're so early in planning. So I'm going to say this. I feel like as you go through this and sort of figure it out, I feel like the discussion of surrogacy will come up. I don't know. I don't feel like that's the route you go. But I also feel like bringing up, should I be taking more folate? Should I be like that? Like that will be part of it. There's something about multiple. So I don't know that you get pregnant with multiple, or if there's like you have one and it splits. I don't know how that works. How soon after fertilization do they do implantation? You've been taking high folate for a long time. Okay, perfect. It's, are you taking it as folic acid or folinic acid? Or L-methylfolate? Because I feel like it shouldn't, for you, it shouldn't be folic acid. That's the synthetic form. I feel like you should have, okay, L-methylfolate, okay, good. I also feel like they need to watch your progesterone. I do feel like it'll be successful, so I want to say that because it feels like, and it doesn't feel like I'm having to do a lot of rounds. There's a bit about being maybe not so hard on yourself. I think we have this weird idea that like, I don't know, it just, try not to be hard on yourself. They gave you progesterone severance through injections and capsules in my first IVF cycle. Okay, I feel like they'll have to do that again. I also feel like all in all, like you have had to go through a lot to get here. The pregnancy will actually be like, they're going to watch you very closely, but I feel like it's going to be easier than, like, if there weren't all the other complications, you would think, oh, this is a like easy breezy pregnancy. And complications by meaning like, you know, having to go through IVF, having to do all that and all of the losses and all of that. I have to tell you, I keep seeing a little boy. I do feel like it's really important that you and your husband kind of reconnect a little bit, because I feel like I first of all, he loves you dearly, and I believe you love him dearly. Like there's no doubt in my mind at all, or the way I'm feeling at all. I feel like you're both such giving individuals and caring so much about each other. It feels like maybe your husband is just distancing himself just a little bit, not from you, but just not wanting to put the weight on you because he recognizes that it's been very hard on you. So I don't know. It feels like just like a good supportive hug for each other. Yeah, I don't feel like carrying the baby is the issue. Mm-mm. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's multiples, if it ends up being multiples. You try to tell him he doesn't have to always be so strong one. Yeah. Hi, Kiki. Yeah, I feel like he is kind of like holding it all in to sort of, but I feel like he needs a big hug too. I know you're good about that. Like, I know you're, very loving and supportive. I just feel like, he needs to embrace that a little, like allow for that to be for him. I also feel like he doesn't have a lot of people to talk to about it, so there's not a lot of people around him to relate to what you're going through and the loss that he's experienced, um, and people. I'm guilty of this too. We say dumb things to people when they're going through stuff, and I'm laughing because I'm like, if you only knew some of the dumb shit I've said, like where I'm like, like I used to say this. This was before I had kids and special needs kids too. I'd be like, oh, God gives, and this was also when I was still like veering towards Christianity, which I'm not anymore. But it's like, oh, God gives special people special babies, and I'm only laughing because just don't say that kind of shit to people. And I'm gonna say this because when you have a kid that has special needs, and I'm like not, whatever. She's not like she's low support needs, but high support needs in some ways. And then I have my other daughter is ADHD, but it's like I'm not special. Like I'm not like that's just such a weird way to say it. People just say weird things, so sometimes I open up to people who don't want to hear weird things. Or my favorite, I was like, everybody's a little autistic. It's like, no, and everybody's not a little ADHD. Because like when you spit those things and then you see other people just do things so easily, you're like, yeah, no, everybody's not. Yeah, so I just feel like he needs an extra squish. Excuse me, yawn. Okay, I'm really sorry. I feel like this is one of those times where I was like, I swore I saw you with a baby. I swore you wouldn't have any other issues. And so I feel so terrible. Like this is something I don't want to be wrong about, not because of my ego, but because of your heartbreak. And but I feel good about this. I feel like it'll be fine. There's still this thing about surrogacy, and I don't know if it's like because you end up getting a surrogate or because there's conversations around it. Looking at like talking about it as options or somebody bringing it up. There's something about that though. I know you're tired because it's been a lot. Surrogacy is expensive. Yeah. So I'm not saying that that's exactly what the route you're going to go. Your friend and your mom have just briefly asked if that's something we want. And you said no. Okay. So maybe that's just to show me, because I was like, there's something around surrogacy, and I saw like a friend, like a close friend talk. So I don't know if they're offering or it's like, I don't know exactly. I wasn't getting the details on it. So hopefully that was all that was. It probably is because I got the same thing about needing progesterone and folate through it. Excuse me. Sava, what's your question? Hello. I am very hopeful for you too. It's like, this is one of those hard readings where I'm like, oh, like I feel it. And then because of this history, I feel like, oh, it's almost like I don't want to get your hopes up, but I want to get your hopes up because I feel it. I keep seeing a little boy. I feel like you'll go to term. I feel like it'll be okay. I don't know if it's multiples, like you actually end up being pregnant with multiples, or if they're just, you have two close together. It's okay, so you don't know if you, I can do love reading. Knowing the exact time to aid in your grieving process, and the answer is no. So I don't see that it's like really, like, because even when grandma was dying, do you know what she said? I was like, no. I don't know. Could be a couple weeks. Like, I don't know. But it's like a thing I guess I've never really understood why it's helpful, because it doesn't help you grieve. So those are the kind of questions I don't really answer. They don't allow for more than one embryo at a time. So maybe there's a split that happens. That's why I was like trying to figure out when the split would occur. And I think it's smart that they don't allow more than one. It's higher risk. I took care of in the NICU a lot of, like, triplet IVFers. And then you run into, like, when it's higher risk and higher risk of being born early, then you run into like all of the stuff that comes along with preemies, which is like brain bleeds and retinopathy of prematurity and lung issues and necrotizing enterocolitis, like just all the things that go along with preemie stuff. That's like not, or BPD, or that's lungs, but so. But I have seen before where they had a fraternal and then one of those fraternals split, so they ended up with triplets because one split. So that's why I was like, I don't know if one splits and that's why you end up with two, or if you end up having them like close together. And to me, if you have them close together, that means that it's a healthy, easy pregnancy. It was no problem getting pregnant, and you just went for it. Okay, what's your question, Sava? Someone asked me today, I was kind of like, she purchased a like email reading, but she was talking about like karmic stuff. Like, how do you, and I have to go and answer her question, but when you're looking at relationships that like to it, I don't even think there has to be karma attached to it. Like, if we believe our beliefs create our reality, then like, why even bother with that, right? I often think the lesson lies within you, and it's not necessarily about that other person. Have I stood in different places of belief before where I was like, oh yes, now this person experiences this role and now you're going to experience that role? Yeah, but I don't necessarily think it's tied to that person or that soul specifically. It's more about your learned lessons. Okay. Ask whatever you want, Saba. No death questions, but otherwise ask whatever you want. And I would type, if somebody else can type that response for her, I just can't, I don't know how to type on my phone in the chat. I'm sorry. I could hold up a sign. So my response is she can ask whatever she wants. If she wants to ask a love question. What is this? Ooh, I put the retouch on. So weird. There, turn it off. I like my natural. You're asking about energy between you and Anton. Okie doke. What do you want to know? I mean, thank you, Julia. Like, do you want to know where the relationship's going? Do you want to know? I keep feeling it's more like a situationship right now. Okay. I don't feel like great about him. Not that I think he's a terrible guy. I just feel like he's a right now kind of a guy, but not a like forever kind of a guy. Again, it's not because he's like a bad guy. I just feel like he has some growing up to do. I feel like the energy reminds me of like, I used to be friends with a lot of guys. Oh, it's okay to be harsh. I'm not gonna be harsh. And I would watch them through the dating process and like who they would date. I had this one, like, couple of them who they're both my sister's age, and they would just be like one guy didn't date a girl because her eyebrows were weird, and I'm like, there's something like that's a you thing. That's not really a them thing. Like there's not really anything wrong with them. You're just being weird and nitpicky about things because, like, it's like, and dating lots of women at the same time. And I feel like he doesn't really know what he wants right now out of life. I also feel like frontal lobe is not fully developed. Like the emotional maturity and availability isn't fully there. Again, I don't feel like he's a bad guy. Like, I don't feel like he's doing you wrong, or I just feel like isn't really settled in what he wants from life. He's got a life lesson. Yeah, I said, I don't feel like he's a bad guy. Like, I'm not like, oh, like, because I don't think that somebody necessarily playing the field or not being fully mature makes them a bad person. I just think that's where they're at in life. For you, I feel like the lesson you learn from it is not as like sort of like you're learning to move into a space of like not accepting breadcrumbs and bare minimum. And so I feel like within the next couple of months, you get a little like, not like, I hate him, I'm so tired, no, like no whininess about it, but it's just sort of like, yeah, this isn't really what I'm looking for. I'm not as attracted to him as I thought I was. Again, I feel like he's handsome, he's really nice, he's not a terrible person, just not really where it's at. Yeah, I feel like he's a nice guy. I don't feel like he's a terrible person. I just feel like he doesn't really know what he wants out of life. I feel like he doesn't really know fully who he is, and so it's hard for him to be like, I'm not fully connected to myself or feeling fully certain of who I am as a person in order to be able to like then also take on this identity of relationship, deep, connected, committed relationship. How old is he? I was like 25. That's what I'm saying. I don't think his frontal lobe is fully developed yet. And guys only consider themselves men just because they like women, but in reality, I don't think they realize that it's more than that. I don't know. I think it's weird when men call women girls. I heard that the other day and I was like, you're talking about like this guy was like in his 50s easily. And he was talking about women in their 50s and calling them girls. And I'm like, no. Like, we don't call men in their 40s and 50s boys. Like, no. Don't infantilize somebody when they're a whole grown human being. So I just feel like he's fine for now. I just don't think you're going to end up wanting to be with him long term. I actually think you're going to have fun for a while, dating around a little bit and sort of figuring out really exactly for yourself, like understanding your boundaries and what you're like not going to settle for. And I think that's a good thing. I'm sure he is. Listen to me. I can be wrong. The time